For generations, hunting in the great outdoors has held a special place for so many people. Using God's creation to provide for your family, create endless memories with your children, or simply just get away and enjoy nature. It is up to all of us to make sure that this tradition continues and is managed in the way that it was intended. My name is Brandon Scher, and from the time I could walk, the outdoors and the wildlife that roam it have meant so much to me. I grew up in a family that hunted, from my dad to my uncles to everybody, just always get me involved in the outdoors. And luckily I've been fortunate enough to be able to pass all of that on to my children, as well as so many other of the next generation, getting other youth hunters involved, getting people involved that have never hunted before. And just one of my goals always is to keep this tradition alive and keep the sport of hunting alive. And, you know, part of me getting into filming years ago, the reason for that was to be able to share these memories and share these experiences with people. And that truly is the passion that drives me to keep doing what I do. My purpose for this video series is to bring all of us as outdoorsmen together as far as what is right and what is constitutional. Let me just start by saying that I am for the game department. I believe they have a job to do. I believe it's a tough job to do. But just like with anything, it can take a couple bad apples to ruin it for everybody. And that's what I want to talk about here today and in these future video series is the things that have been going on. And this is one of those things that has kind of evolved and it's changed over time as far as what is acceptable. You know, technology's changed, so methods that they use have changed. And I think it's a discussion that we all need to have. I've got a story to tell as far as what I've been through, and that's where I'm going to start. In 8 years, I've been harassed, I've been slandered, I've been defamed. I've had game wardens go talking to landowners, making up lies about me, trying to make it so I lose my properties. Had the game wardens go to where my wife and I are getting ready to build a house and tell my neighbor that I'm a piece of. I've had game wardens specifically target me, and in the times where I've called them, I've invited them to properties before where I was dealing with trespassers. Asked them to put a camera up. Let's catch these people. They came to my property, put cameras up, we caught the people, but ended up not being a charge because they're friends with the game warden. I've called them out to other property. Someone was trespassing. And as soon as the game warden gets there, they start dropping the names of all the game wardens that hunt with them. Once again, no charges. I have years and years of pictures of game wardens walking around my properties. I have them walking on my properties the first day of hunting season. I have them walking in front of my cameras, leaning down and smiling, knowing purposely what they're doing to sabotage me as a hunter. That should be classified as hunter harassment as far as I'm concerned. The system that we have in the selective prosecution can't keep going on. You know, law enforcement for all. Game wardens should be able to enforce the law on anybody the same way. Doesn't matter who you are. You can't go after certain people just because you don't like them or because they're successful. You know, I ended up turning the passion that I have into something more and wanted to pursue that. So instead of being able to reap those rewards and the little bit of success that I've had, that's what you get. That's the payment you get for being a little bit successful is you're targeted. And that's not right. And that's why I'm here to tell my story. So my dealings with the Virginia Game Department started in 2016 when I was hunting this buck right here. Here in Virginia, we are allowed to feed whitetails from the time season goes out through September 1st. I'm a huge advocate for food plots and providing nutrition that way, but also in the months when we can, I supplementally feed our whitetails. I do it in the harsh winter months, and I do it in the summertime to maximize the growth potential on what we have. So in the summertime, we were going out, we were filling our feeder out there on a regular basis, and someone on the neighboring property had called the local police department and said that we were feeding deer. So the police department called the game department, and then they came out there and started doing their investigation. There just happened to be game wardens that were actually hunting the property across the road from this deer, and they knew that deer existed as well. So it added extra motivation for them to make sure everything with it was legit. They kept coming out there throughout the season. I ended up harvesting that buck. I had a police officer in the stand with me when I killed that buck. Everything was legitimate with that. And after that, that turned into what has now been over 8 years of them actively hunting me. And I'm going to call it that, actively hunting me. And so after this has gone on for that long, at the beginning of October this year, I decided to go ahead and do a FOIA request, a Freedom of Information Act request, to see what is their reasoning. Why is the game department coming after me like they are? And when I pulled the FOIA report, it had reference to this when I was feeding that whitetail over the summertime. The only other thing that they had in that report was last year, 2024, in March, that they walked on 2 of my properties and there was feed out there for turkeys. And there was. I legally am allowed to do that. The way that law actually goes is there can't be anything on the ground for 10 days before you hunt. Technically, you could hunt them or you could feed them during the season if you wanted to, if you weren't hunting it. There's no violation towards any of that. And in that FOIA report, I'm going to post it up here so you can see it. They went back out there after season was open. There was no bait. There was no feed. Nothing on the ground. So all of this and them actively hunting me, walking on all of my properties with no probable cause, no reason whatsoever. What was conveniently left off that FOIA report was something that I specifically asked for in my request. I specifically asked for the details about the time that I asked them to come out there and do surveillance and where we caught someone trespassing on the property. They had went across multiple cables, went out to the pond, took my boat where my boat had been vandalized, a battery had been stolen, the wires had been stripped off the boat. They went out there, caught fish, took pictures, did selfies, posted them on Instagram. On my boat with fish, posted them on Instagram. And what did the game department do? They didn't do anything. They didn't write them a ticket because they were friends with that individual's father. So not only did they not go ahead and give them a citation like they would have gave me or they would have gave so many others, they decided that, nope, we don't even want to put this on the FOIA report. That's against the law and that can't happen. So let's fast forward to November of 2024. Black powder season was here. The way all of your licenses work in Virginia is you have your state license, which is a year to the date that it's valid for. You have your deer and turkey tags, which are good for that season. And then if you want a black powder hunt or you want a bow hunt, it's an $18 endorsement for each of those. And those run a year to the date. So when black powder season started, I went online, just like I do with everything, and you make sure you've got your valid endorsements for what you're doing. And I did. On November 11th, I shot a buck. Went online, I tagged it roughly at 7:30 in the morning, right there where I killed it, where I found the deer, tagged it there. We tagged it as a black powder kill. We went, took pictures. I posted those pictures on social media. Everything was done the way that it's supposed to be done. Fast forward from there to January 1st on New Year's Day, I get a call from the landowner and said, hey, the game department's out here. And I said, well, I don't understand why they're out there. And I was advised that they had a warrant to take my trail cameras that were there. And that's what they did. And they advised the landowner that I did not have a valid black powder endorsement at that time and that it expired 7 days before that. I was not aware of that. Like I said, everything I've had has been on auto renew. As long as I can remember, as long as I've been hunting in Virginia, I've always had an archery endorsement. I've always had a black powder endorsement every single year. And for whatever reason, apparently that did not renew. I know I've talked to several people where the department's online system had issues this year where people got locked out of their accounts, things didn't renew, and things like that, and they were told there was a glitch with the system. I'm not sure exactly what happened with that. So rather than come to me and say, hey, Brandon, look, you didn't have this endorsement, which is a class 3 misdemeanor at that time. They didn't do that. They didn't come to my house. They decided to stake out my house. One evening, my wife, my son, and myself were leaving the house, and my son was driving. My wife was in the passenger seat. I was in the back seat, and the game department pulled us over. They come up to the truck, they shine the flashlight, see that I'm in the back seat, ask me to get out of the vehicle, have me put my hands on the back of the truck, pat me down, and hand me a warrant for my cell phone. And they take my cell phone. Now, the way this situation was handled, you would think that I was some sort of cartel leader. Here we are, it's February now. I still haven't been issued a ticket. I haven't been issued a citation on anything. And to handle that situation that way, rather than come to my house or take my phone, if it was something that it was a violation and it was clear like that, then give me a ticket. Give me a ticket and we can go to court and, we can handle that way, and I'll take responsibility for, anything that if I did. I didn't do anything intentionally there. And like I said, I got treated like a cartel member. So there's going to be a lot of people that think I'm crazy for doing this and putting this out here. Think that I'm going to get targeted more, which I'm not sure that that's possible, but I very well may. But you know what? I'm willing to stand up and be the voice for the people that can't. I'm willing to stand up for the people that don't have the platform that I do to be able to do this. And I want to stand up for what's right. And the things that are wrong need to be changed. They very well may come after me even more after this. I know an individual in the county next to us that's dealing with the same exact game wardens. He had cameras taken illegally without a warrant. Well, he started a lawsuit against the game department when that happened. When he started that lawsuit, within just over a year, the game department issued 37 tickets between him, his brother, and his father. Out of those 37 tickets, 11 of them have been to court, and on all 11 of those, found not guilty. You can't just have selective prosecution and go after people that way. I have a pool customer here that I don't even hunt on his property. The game department went to that pool customer and told him that he suggests that they go with somebody else to build their pool. That's not right. You're affecting my livelihood. You're affecting my family. You're affecting me putting food on the table. And this stuff can't keep going on. I know that it probably happens other places around, but for the most part, I've traveled all over the country. I've never seen anything like it the way that this is done. The Virginia Game Department is the only law enforcement agency in Virginia that doesn't wear body cameras. Why is that? I think there has to be some sort of standard to hold these guys accountable for what they do. And these are the conversations that we need to have as far as getting laws changed, getting things changed so this doesn't happen to anybody else again. So in all of my years of hunting and traveling across the country, to this day, I've still never received a game violation in my life. And that's not for a lack of trying from the Virginia Game Department. They've put cameras on my tree stands to watch me coming and going. This is the main reason that the law got changed in Tennessee. The Game Department should be required to have a warrant just like every other law enforcement agency has to have to do that, and to do surveillance on private property. Once again, this is something that is not right and needs to change. I would like anybody that has any story that they would like to get out there and tell, please reach out to me, send me a message, give me a call. Let's talk about this and let's come together as an outdoor community. I really appreciate everybody watching this. Please share this and let's get this word out there. In the next couple days, I'm going to release a couple more videos. One is going to be about selective prosecution and targeting. One is going to be about slandering people, defamation of character, and the tactics that these game departments are using that aren't right and shouldn't be allowed. Thanks again, guys, for watching. And like I said, please share this video and let's spread the word on this.